Everyday Inclusion and Belonging, where we talk about everything under the sun, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging related. I want to kick us off before Cam and I get into our conversation. It's Thanksgiving week.
Yes.
And that is a holiday from an inclusion standpoint that is just problematic, right? And I want to point you all to a resource. There are two. A couple of years ago, we did a quick little segment. It's about 8 minutes long about inclusion at Thanksgiving, where we give you some tips. I'll put the link to that in. The other thing that I recommend is there's a great app called Native Lands, and you can download it. It was actually a project started a group out of Canada with their First Nations really wanting to honor and have people understand. So you can download Native Lands and it will tell you what lands, what Indigenous lands you're on. So I just want to do a land acknowledgement. I'm in northern Colorado and I'm sitting on Arapaho, Cheyenne, Ute, and Ogallala Sioux land. And I think that's a great thing for us all to really think about during this Thanksgiving holiday and acknowledge. So to today's fantastic guest, I can't wait, Cam Ward. Cam, introduce yourself. You wear dual hats and you've got some exciting, important work that you're doing, and I want to dig in on that. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. But I'm Cam. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Men in Tech, which is a nonprofit geared towards amplifying the voice of Black males in the tech space. It's not exclusively for Black males, but it is the Black male experience, which makes us a niche in our ecosystem of learning more about Black tech, which I'm really excited about, as well as I am the head of diversity and inclusion and belonging at LiveRamp, which is a data connectivity platform helping customers use their data safely and effectively throughout the ecosystem with their analytics. So pretty excited to be in a space where I can wear dual hats, but they have so much synergy into what we do as far as diversity is concerned. I'm home based in South Florida, and I'm really excited to be here.
So Cam, boy, like the last 18 months,
right?
right? Like the fill in the blank with everything right. For the last 18 months. I'm guessing a lot of that and your lived experience had a lot to do with why you founded Black Men in Tech. And I'd love to hear sort of what's that origin story? What had you one day finally just say, I got to start this thing?
Yeah. So I'm very fortunate and blessed to have a group of friends that I can call on that look like me in the tech space, right? Everyone doesn't have that space. So on my initial calls, I started to just throw something at the wall about, hey, what if we made this group bigger? You know, after summer 2020, everyone and every Black male, in my opinion, that I had the opportunity to interact with was looking for a home base to feel their feelings and make their feelings feel real. And for me, our call started with 10 brothers on the phone, on Zoom, just kind of chatting, you know, we mid-pandemic, that sort of thing, we're just chatting about it. And then it started to grow. 20 turned into 50, 50 turned into, I couldn't handle it on Zoom alone anymore. So I reached out and said, you know what, we need to start a community. Don't know what the community will be exactly, but we have to start somewhere. There's a saying about don't let perfect be the death of something good. So it's literally flying a plane and building it at the same time. But we was able to create something magical in a group with a group of Black males and in the hopes to create allyship and understanding for individuals not necessarily a part of the target group. So really exciting journey that we're on right now. We did a conference in June, which was free. Over 8.5 thousand people tuned in at some point. We had 35 amazing speakers, both male and female speakers, and it was absolutely an amazing experience.
I love that this came like from this, we need a space, right? We need a space and we need a place. It's really interesting, Cam, that it was the same experience when I founded Moxie. Whereas like, and Moxie started with this idea that there had to be a space where women could come together because where you didn't have to explain the experience and you could talk about right, in a really authentic way, and not have people like, well, what do you mean, or what do you, and you saw that there was this gap because you felt it, right, and you were coming together with your friends, and then to have 8,500 people show up,
Right.
right, to participate in this conference. And so tell me a little bit more, right? Obviously there are some, what do you do in essence?
Right. So we want to be an experience that's what I call full life cycle. So it's not just one thing, but it's multiple things. So the conference is just one aspect of what we do. The aspect that really light me up and really get me focused on this work is the education. I believe in access and education for all. If we create access and education, then we as people can do anything, in particular, we as Black men. So the networking piece is important. So we do meetups where we get involved and have these conversations, and it's on a number of different topics. We do an education portion that's really important, just making sure people that's tech curious are getting all the things that they need in order to be successful in navigating their tech journey. At the same time, we do things like a toy drive. We actually got a toy drive running right now for a school out in Dallas where we want to just bring joy to students. And that's what it's about. It's about literally rewriting the urban legend, right? The myth on what a Black man is in society. There are so many negative connotations about the Black male experience, and what we at Black Men in Tech want to do is just to rewrite it, show them that we're part of an ecosystem, that we do have a voice, and that we can amplify it in our community and to take care of our community, right? And it's just an opportunity for us just to connect on all levels. So that's the thought process behind the organization.
So I tend to do this, Cam. I want to drill down a little bit more. So when is it all at this point, because of pandemic, is it all virtual? Do you plan on it remaining all virtual? Yeah. Or do you want some in-person? Yeah. And right, other regions? Give me the logistics, Cam.
Okay, cool. Got you. So this past year has been all virtual. We want to move into a hybrid role. So our conference in 2022 is going to be in a hybrid role where we have some in person, some virtual. Of course, we want to respect individuals, safety, and make sure everyone is comfortable. That's why we're moving towards a hybrid role. The toy drives is usually, my team, volunteers that want to get out there. We're going to pack up all the toys and we're going to shift them and send them out to Texas with the help of Daymaker, which is our partner, and making sure we get toys to these schools. And then in January, we're actually going to do our first in-person meetup. And we're partnering with another organization, Her Tech Unicorn, which is helping minority women that are tech curious drive their tech space. We're going to partner with them to do a tech meetup, a quarterly meetup. So it's really exciting times for us. I'm really excited about the work we're actually gearing up to do. At the same time, we want to be mindful and be safe and make sure everyone feel as though their voice is heard, but their space is protected at the same time.
I love so much of that, because you're thinking about sort of forward facing too, like, sure, right. You started virtual, but then this hybrid, right? Because, for example, right, I might be somebody that doesn't feel safe out in a community for any number of reasons, or I don't have access to, right? So tuning in virtually is always going to be the way that I want to go. Maybe I'm a Black man with a disability, right? Where just tech is. And so I love just the inclusiveness of your model. Right. Is so cool. I want to note that we'll make sure that we put the link to the toy drive in the, because I want to talk more about that. On the education piece, tech is broad, right? So when we're talking about tech, and I love this tech curious. So who provide, is it one of you that's talking about, hey, here's this area, maybe it's AI, or maybe it's security, or maybe is it just somebody saying, hey, here's a topic, or are you listening to the voice of your membership? And I have so many questions, Cam. Then how does one become a member? How does somebody become an ally? But let's start with the education piece first.
Okay. So listen, I'm fortunate enough to have in my board of directors, in my circle, my personal board of directors, a number of individuals that walk different tech paths. So I have two brothers that I really lean on to help with the education of people that's trying to get into tech and maneuver through tech. One person is Marcus Roundtree, who's out of North Carolina, and he's actually at Lowe's as a product manager. So a lot of people don't understand what product manager is all about. So I really lean on him and his expertise to help coach. We call them coaches, to help coach individuals through their tech journey. Another brother is out of London, Francis Aremu, who has a podcast called Let's Talk Jobs. And what he does is also, he's in sales. So what he does is also help individuals and coach them along changing resumes, coach them as far as one-on-one sessions, that sort of thing, so we can drive the change we want to see in these communities. So we honestly have a global platform and footprint when it comes to Black men in tech, because I have brothers out of Germany, out of Amsterdam, all these different locations that are consider themselves Black, but it's a different experience. So what I tell individuals immediately, there's no monolithic experience to the Black male experience or any experience. Everyone is on a personal journey, and we learn from each other and we lift while we climb.
I love that, lift while we climb. Okay, so how would somebody get involved?
Okay.
And then how could somebody be an ally and support?
Yeah. Listen, I'll say immediately, I'll start with the ally piece. We need allies. Everyone needs allies. I say more than ever now in the community in which we live in and work in, we need support. So that is my cry out for help right there. We need support. So when you hear things like Black men in tech, you say, oh, that's not for me, right? I don't want to necessarily embed myself in a community where people are trying to grow and learn. I wanted to dispel that notion completely and said we need more of individuals coming into our community and immersing themselves in our community and learning about our community. That way your emotional intelligence will be so strong that when you see something in the news, in the media that impacts a Black male or impacts the Black community, you can check in and check on that individual without feeling as though it's performative. Mm-hmm. Right. So immediately we need allies. How do you get involved with allyship? Just immerse yourself in the program. We have a toy drive coming up. Buy a toy. We have on our website, it's being redone now as we approach January for our next conference year, but we have a subscribe button, subscribe. Reach out to me on LinkedIn or reach out to our chief of staff on LinkedIn and say, hey, I want to be a part. And we will plug you in. Listen, we are better together. So in my mind, just reach out and we'll plug you in. And there's so much work to do. It's the work of many, and we need to do it together. Now, as far as any member, we have a Facebook group. Now, I'm gonna be fair. Facebook group is only for the Black males because we want to build
you need that space.
We want to build our own, but join our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, right? Join the Instagram so you'll learn more. Be the first on the newsletters that we send out monthly. Like there's plenty of work for everyone to get involved and feel like they're making an impact and change in our community. So I would say immediately, please get involved on any different channels. Just reach out to me. I answer LinkedIn all the time, and we can plug in and start to work together. My favorite line is, let's go to work.
Yeah, right. And it is right. Allyship is action.
Yes.
Yes. And I think and I love the performative is like, I post something once a year and like, this is,
yes,
whatever. And the allyship is the ongoing. So I love those practical things that you said. I love that you actually are holding space just for Black men, right? Because there's also the allyship piece where there are conversations that allies shouldn't be involved in, right? Yep. Is there a way, Cam, that and maybe you're not there yet, that you're connecting, for example, employee resource groups or business resource groups to Black men in tech as a kind of a strategic alliance of sorts?
Yes, actually we are. So like I said, like I told you at the top, I'm fortunate enough to work at a company that not only supports me, but also really like does it by action. So what we're working on internally to my project at LiveRamp is beta testing how our Black Act group, which is our Black at ERG, plugs into the mentoring piece in our collegiate effort in Black Men in Tech. So what we want to do is make it an ecosystem and where everyone sees their fit in their space, and we activate our space for the betterment of an entire movement or entire community. So the way that ERGs, BRGs, business resource group can plug in is by our pillar around education and mentoring the next youth, the next tech youth in society. So we do that through scholarship. We had a scholarship drive at the end of last conference, and then from there, those individuals reach out and have mentors, and then they get mentored, and then they meet up in groups. And then the thought process now is that by next year conference, those same first individuals that were in our scholarship program continue to thrive through our conference and meet more people. So yeah, we're working on something really special around that, but it's about sustainable work.
Yeah, 100%, right? Because like I feel like you're at the point now, there's so many opportunities here, Cam. It's going to be as much about what you say no to as what you say yes to, right? Because right, if you're trying to, I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about what's already happening and thinking, let's say it's 5 years from now, like, what do you hope?
Yeah.
What do you hope you've accomplished? What do you hope is actively happening?
Yeah. So 5 years from now, I hope that Black Men in Tech is a truly global conference where we have thousands of people from around the world coming to conferences, but also the same type of energy in our toy drives, the same type of energy in our backpack drives, the same type of energy in our quarterly meetup. The thing is that makes Black Men in Tech unique for me is that I care a lot about the experience that one get out of it. If you leave any experience to say, I met someone that can further my career, that can help me in a crisis, that can help me navigate through. Those are the things that I want individuals to do. This community is about connecting and convening individuals to be their better self, right? Or to be the best version. And we can only do that through the help. So in 5 years, I will want the conference to live and be supported by its community. But at the same time, I'm really thoughtful about making sure we support all existing conferences geared towards the Black experience in tech. So Black is Tech, Afro Tech, Black Man Talk Tech, Black Women Talk Tech, all these conferences, I want us to convene together and continue to support each other, as well as, continue to stay in our lanes and continue to have crossover where we create a energy in the matrix for Black tech conferences around the world. How cool is that? Right?
That is so cool, because the power in the collective is when there's this slight overlap, right?
Yes.
And then it's like, we do this really well, you do this really well, and we're amplifying all the work, and everybody collectively is are rising.
Yes.
And it's so cool to me, Cam, that you do have a day job, right? Yeah. That also allows you this passion project and the parallels there, right? And that they're feeding each other, and your organization understands that, and you're able to create this big, amazing thing in the world.
Right.
So what excites you, let's say, in the next 6 months?
Yeah. So what excites me is the next 6 months, I'll talk about both. So one thing is that at LiveRamp, we have released our mid-year report. And I'm really excited about that internally, because all of our numbers are up. Now, what I've shared internally and socialized is that while our numbers are up, we still have work to do, right? So let's celebrate the win, and let's continue to be intentional about our strategic efforts around diversity. But that's super exciting. We're also welcoming a new leader, Chief People Officer, that's coming on board in December, Sharon Tipton, which I'm really excited to work with her as she scopes and visions our LiveRamp 2.0, if you will, of the way we learn and work in our culture. So that's pretty exciting next 6 months, right? On the LiveRamp front, on the personal front is Black Men in Tech. So we have a toy drive that we're doing. We're really in the community, we're really excited about that. And we're excited about in February, releasing our information about our next conference. Our next conference is going to be super dynamic. It's going to be the first year we're in person, the first time we're doing, so it's going to be a lot of bumps along the road, but we'll figure it out because my team is absolutely amazing. So we're excited about releasing the information about our next year conference, and hopefully we pack it out, and people are really excited about our speakers, our entertainers, that sort of thing, and it's just come out and have a great weekend. So I'm excited, and I expect to see you there too. So
Well, so that's actually what I wanted to. Let's loop back to allyship.
Okay.
Immediately, people can support the toy drive.
Yeah.
They can sign up for the e-newsletter, right, to stay looped in.
Yep.
They can, and this is where I want to make sure, like, let's say I'm a white ally, or I am, right, I want to make sure that we're holding space. So how specifically would you want allies to be involved in events?
I want them immersed into every event. That
right.
so
then,
our space, right, yeah, our space is our Facebook closed group, right? Anywhere we can have conversation about the Black male experience, where someone can learn, someone can feel supported, someone can be educated, everyone needs to be in that space.
Perfect. So then that's not a space yet. Yeah, so then it's about getting signed up for the event, staying in. Awesome, awesome. I just want, right, it's a time of gratitude. Cam, I'm so grateful that you saw this need and that you leaned into it, right? Because it's, as a founder myself, there's a choice point, right? Where it is, you see a problem and you can look away, or you can look in the mirror and say, I can be the one that, and that problem's not the right word, right? You see an opportunity, you see a need. Right? You chose to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to create this thing. And being a creator is not easy. And so hat tip. And I can't wait to have this conversation. First, I can't wait to meet you at, ongoing in all the events. And I can't wait to have this conversation, 5 years from now. At Moxie, one of our ongoing organizations that we support is Black Girls Code. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we can support Black men in tech moving forward, and just seeing a couple years from now all the good work that's been done. So thank you. I want you to leave me, Cam, with one last truth bomb. One last truth bomb, and that can be about understanding the Black male experience. That can be about Black men in tech. That can be about anything that you want, but give me your mic drop.
Okay, so now all the pressure, right?
Right now, no pressure at all.
Right. So I'll leave you with this one. My personal goal is to prepare individuals to thrive in a diverse and interconnected world. So what that means is basically the goal is to create global citizens, right? You might not understand everyone's situation. You might not understand everyone's experience, but what you can do is have a high emotional intelligence and a high cultural intelligence, so that your interactions are not performative, but are pure. So as long as you strive towards that thing, that purity in your interaction, then you are doing the work of diversity, inclusion, and belonging, and you are a champion. So thank you.
You performed well under pressure there. that was truly amazing. And Cam, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your brilliance. Thank you for creating this organization. Y'all, I'll post links so you can get involved with the organization. And as Cam said, he's out here on LinkedIn quite a bit. Right? Connect with him, follow what he's doing here, all the different ways to get involved, to support, to amplify, and to be an ally. And to those of you Black men who are in tech who didn't know about this organization, right, get involved in that way. So thank you, everybody. I'm fairly excited because this is going to be our last live for this year. I'm looking forward to being off camera for a while. And I have to say to everybody, get out there and do the next right thing. So thanks, Cam. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you in the new year.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.